Hello, everybody. Andrew Taylor here. Today we have Erica Walker with us. Erica, thank you for coming in.
What's up, guys?
And we also have Dima Yevko, who we had, a year ago?
A little bit over that, yeah.
And you've grown a ton, learned a ton, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Erica, just to start, you've been in here a couple times, but if you can tell everybody about yourself and give everyone a little background on you.
Yeah, so I've been at FFL for almost little over 2 years now, just about. Came from the insurance industry, was at another company, captive company there for a year and a half, making decent money. Was kind of at the point where I just was, not happy, didn't like being captive, controlled in that aspect. Saw a lot of people come into FFL. A lot of people left that, weren't making money. And I was like, I was already making money, there. So finally saw,
So you were making money, sorry to interrupt you, but you were making money, but you weren't happy.
yeah, wasn't happy. I felt like I was working like a corporate, like 9 to 5 job. And so long story short, saw a couple of people that were successful at the company that I was at come to FFL and just decided, really looked into it. Cause dude, they like brainwashed us over there. They like talked so much crap about FFL, and that we had the best place ever of where we were at. So once I honestly kind of compared the two, it was like a no-brainer. So we crushed it our first year. And yeah, just been going at it ever since.
That's awesome. Now, what's been your favorite thing so far?
Few things. The high comp, I think is huge. Setting agents up for success. That was my biggest thing at my other company. It was like, here, I was making money, but I couldn't bring a new agent in and expect them to have that success. So having that high comp, I was making more money off a sale than one of my agents was. And so it was like, that's just messed up. So that's been huge. The carriers, having multiple different carriers that we offer, that's been huge for our clients, being able to pretty much just insure anybody almost, guaranteed issue or whatnot. And then honestly, just the flexibility, being in control of your business and not having, my previous company, they had so much control over our business. It was like, I was in Hawaii and I'd get calls like, hey, if you're not working today, we're going to just, take your agency. It's like, dude, really? So, that's pretty much, the basic of, FFL it's a huge comparison between the two.
Love it. Cool, man. And then what'd you do? Just bring us back a little. What'd you do before you got into insurance?
So I actually worked in tech. So I was an engineer at a tech company back in Oregon. And, I really just wasn't happy there. It's just a typical 9 to 5, grinding it out, doing that, with not a lot of room for growth. And so, and then kind of around the COVID time, I was looking for something new. I had a relative that was, in insurance at a different company. I saw he made, he protected like 30 families in a month himself. And so I just reached out to him. I was like, hey, could I do this? He's like, yeah, sure.
So he made 30 sales.
Yes.
In
correct.
1 month.
Yep. And so, I kind of just joined blindly. Like I didn't really look into it. I was just like, hey, that sounds fun. That sounds like it's going to be a challenge. So I joined it and, and just from like when we talked last, like did a terrible job, like my first 3 months. And that's when I reached out to Erica and, talking to her, I was like, hey, like, what are you doing? And, she was just like, why don't you just plug in with us and we'll get you going quickly. Cause I didn't make any sales for that first 3 months of being in the industry. And so, as soon as I joined FFL, that first week I was just crushing it.
This man was so positive. He's like, I haven't made a sale in 3 months, but I know it's going to work. And I was like, dude, you got to just come over here. We got a system. Trust it.
What was the difference? Like, why couldn't you make a sale before?
To be quite honest, there was no kind of structure. We definitely at FFL, coming in, we have boot camp training. We have a Zoom culture where you can go and get help. And we have scripts, things like that really kind of helped elevate my business right off the bat. And so not having that from that previous company I was working with, I was just calling with no script, just shooting shots in the dark and not really connecting on any of them at all. And like not even close. And so when I came to FFL, it was just a very simple transition into, okay, this is how we run it. This is how we make our sales. This is how we provide for our families.
Now, this is important because some people in FFL they listen to a lot of different people that do it differently,
Mhm.
and then they get kind of stuck. But if they just pick one and stick with it, because they all work.
Yep.
But the important thing is to pick one and stick with it, and not take a little from a bunch of different training styles
Mhm.
and mix them
Exactly.
all up together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely huge.
And then you got a family.
Yeah, I got another one now too.
So before you had one,
Yep.
and now you have two.
I do. I got a 5-month-old, and then my first daughter is about to turn 2 here in like 2 weeks.
How fun is that?
It's the best.
Now, if I remember correctly, last time you were saying you made sales while taking care of the kids,
Yep.
your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Y-
Exactly.
You would actually be holding her, or
I would honestly, I would be holding her. I have her on Zoom, so she was like our Zoom mascot for. I mean, she still is. As
Yeah.
soon as she sees everyone on Zoom, she knows she's gonna roll up and say hi to everyone on Zoom there. So I mean, I was back when I had my first daughter. I was taking care of her while my wife was at work because she was still working her job. And I've been able to grow so much that now I've allowed my wife to just be a stay-at-home mom, take care of the
Yeah.
kids while, I do what I do best now.
you confidently said quit your job.
Yep. I said, I'm going to take care of it. That was literally the conversation that we had. I didn't want her to have to deal with any of that.
What did she do?
She was a freight broker. So she would, do logistics for like a third party brokerage for all these different freight companies.
Dude, congratulations,
Yeah.
man.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it was a scary. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a scary jump, but it was just one of those things where it was just, we were at a crossroads. Either her income was going to pay for childcare, pretty much 100% of that was going to pay for childcare, or I was just going to handle it. And I decided that I was going to be the one that takes care of that.
And did you do even better?
100%. 100%. Just having that responsibility, and knowing that my family relies on me 100% to take care of things. That's part of growing. That's part of, maturing is understanding that you have that role and you need to take it and make sure that your family grows the way that you guys have decided that you want it to actually grow.
That's awesome, man. I know a lot of people. So when I'm talking to people, they usually have like different goals. A lot of young people, they usually say they want to help their parents, their mom, their dad. They had some crazy upbringing, and they're like, I would love to give back to my mom who raised, us with 2 jobs
Mhm.
and gave us everything we needed, but never had any time to herself. I'd like to take care, or I'd like to take care of my dad who is going through XYZ. Um, or it's, I want to make sure this person doesn't have to work the job they like, my wife or my husband. I want to get them out of the job they like. But you actually did it.
Yeah.
But I hear it like every day.
But
Yeah.
honestly, don't count my wife out. She wants to join. She sees what I'm doing. She wants to be a part of it. Whether that's, as a general agent or kind of an admin role. We're still trying to figure that out, but she sees the growth because we saw you at the airport at convention and
You
you
saw
were,
me?
yeah, you don't remember that? You were with Zach and you were like, "Are you guys on your baby moon?" Because
Yeah,
my
I
wife at that
remember.
time was
Yeah.
7 months pregnant.
Yes, I remember.
My wife was
It
7
was
months
when we
pregnant.
got to
Yeah.
Miami. We were getting
Yeah.
our bags.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So she was 7 months
Bro,
pregnant at
she
that
was
point.
pregnant.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
She rallied to that conference.
Yeah, she honestly, her going to a convention, she was just like, oh my gosh, the environment, seeing how much people have grown and how much, just the environment of FFL in general. She was just like, I have to be a part of it too. So once we figured that out, she's going to be joining as a general agent, admin, and she wants to grow her own team too.
Next power couple.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, that's fun.
yeah,
Well, there's a lot of people you see, you don't really see their significant other behind the scenes, how much they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting the line, they're not getting all the attention. But even in my situation, Nicole helped me for years do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're both on the same page, then it helps.
yeah,
But a lot of people go through this. They don't get results right away, and their significant other gets pissed and is like, go get a real job. Did you deal with that at all?
Never. So my wife specifically has always been my biggest support system. So, I've tried lots of things previous to getting into insurance. Even when I was, failing for 3 months at my previous company, she was always saying positive, always supporting me. So we've never had that even that conversation of like, hey, you need to go do something else because there was no
She
other
just
option.
believed you'd figure it out.
100%.
That's legit.
Yeah.
Goals right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
She is the best.
That's cool. All right, let's get into because a lot of people watching, they're either, and let's be honest, the turnover rate in insurance is super high. So people start and then they fail. Um, and a lot of people want to do it and it sounds good. I compare it to hiking. When I think of hiking, I think of like this really fun, nice time in nature. And then when I'm actually hiking, I'm like, why do people do this?
Yeah.
Like, this sucks. And that's kind of how insurance is. It sounds really cool, and it is, and it's very fulfilling until you're actually doing it. And you're like, oh, this is dialing all day and calling all day and getting told no all day
It's a lot of work.
is not fun, right? So why do you think, and obviously you don't know the answer, but why do you think a significant amount of people don't succeed in insurance sales?
Lack of discipline, honestly.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
know-
if they were working at their 9 to 5 and they were slacking off, they're going to get fired. And this is one of these industries where it's up to you to be, your own boss. We can try to help people, try to motivate people as much as we can, but, at the end of the day, they're, typically either working remotely from home, things like that. So, if they don't have it within themselves and they can't figure out how to make that happen, they're just not going to succeed in this industry, period.
Yeah. We almost can honestly pinpoint when an agent isn't going to make it. And as much as we, in the interview process, we tell them, dude, it's going to be tough. You're going to have to dial. We get paid a good amount of money to sit at home in the comfort of your home and dial and talk to people. People just don't have that work ethic. They don't treat this like they would a 9 to 5. When you're working a 9 to 5, whether you have kids or not, or a dog, you can't just leave in the middle of your job to just go walk your dog for 3 hours. But people do that here, and then they wonder why they don't have the results. And we honestly started implementing a system in our agency of 500 dials a day, or 2 sales, or 5 close questions. Like, that is a successful day of work, so that people have a way to kind of gear their stats. And you would be amazed at the lack of work that people actually do.
Yeah, somebody called me and I was like, send me your activity tracker because they had said, these leads don't work. And then they made like 27 phone calls the entire day.
That's crazy.
Man.
And then I was like, bro, you worked for 30 minutes. If you worked at Walmart in 30 minutes, you would make like, what's minimum wage now?
Shoot, I don't even know.
10 bucks,
12 bucks. So
Yeah.
you'd make $6.
Yeah. And you wonder why you didn't make a sale.
Yeah. But I love the activity tracker because it doesn't lie.
Yeah.
But some people do put in a lot of work and they put in the activity and they still get their butt kicked.
True. But you know what we've noticed? So we made this level up group in our agency that everybody had to put their why in. It was voluntary. So whoever wanted to do it joined, but we have strict rules. Every morning you have to listen to something motivational, positive. You have to put what you're grateful for, 3 to 5 things, and you have to say like I am statements out loud. And you have to do the 500 dials, the 5 close questions, or the 2 sales every single day, and put your dials in every day. If you don't do that, you're booted. The people that joined, their production has doubled, if not tripled, just by doing that. And a lot of people the first week didn't have huge results, right? And I tell them, like, guys, it's a compound effect, right? Like, the work that you're doing this first week is making up for the lack of work you've done for weeks behind.
Months.
Right? And months.
Yeah.
And so the people that honestly, then we see the people that are getting the activity but not making the sales. And you're like, well, where's the disconnect? Well, you're not unmuting. You're not following the script, and when we've been pulling people in separate breakout rooms and making them unmute, making them read the script, and they make sales. But what we find is if they're putting that activity in, but they're not getting the sales, is because they're not unmuting, they're not getting coaching. So I've never seen in my career an agent fail out of the business when they're doing all the right things that they need to be doing. It's normally it's 100% on them that they're not following the system, they're not unmuting. Oh, and they have to buy leads at least once a week. So it's like if you're doing all of the things to be successful, the chances, yeah, you're going to have those people that it's just not for them, but the chances of you being successful are a lot higher than if you don't or you're missing one of those key components to it.
Huge. So
Yeah.
how many things do you say out loud that's positive?
I tell them at least 5. Like, I am
Is
successful.
this like
I'm whatever that may be. They have it, they say it out loud to themselves, and then in the group chat, they have to put down what they listen to, what they're grateful for
in the group
in
chat?
the group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we take it seriously. If people aren't posting, we're like, hey, it's noon and you still haven't posted. And we've kicked people
We
out
just kick
too.
people
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So what if they don't make the dials?
They have like one warning and then they're
They're
out.
out.
Or they need to make up for it the next day.
But everyone that's been doing it has just like doubled their business.
It's crazy.
Double,
Double, if
triple.
not triple.
Well,
Yeah.
because I don't know if you guys are like this, but I'm like this. If you don't try to control the way you're thinking, you're going to revert to thinking negative.
100%.
Are you guys like that, or is it just me?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have to get ahead of it and do these positive things, and then do the activity to reinforce those positive things.
Yep.
Because it's the little things that add up. It's like, okay, one day you don't do 500 dials. One day you don't post, and then the next day you also don't do something that you should be doing. And so all those add up to the point to where you're just not working. So
Yeah.
our main goal is just to make sure people stay on track and keep them accountable. We offered this out to them. It's a voluntary group to be a part of. If you're going to not take it seriously, we're not going to let you be with everyone that is going to be taking it seriously.
Yeah. That's crazy. So I got to tell you this funny story. So my friend was telling me to do 75 hard. Okay. And I told him, I don't know if I could do it. And then later that day, me saying, I don't know if I could do it was haunting me. Like, I'm like, why did I say that? I never would have used to say, I would have never said, I don't know if I could do that. But I'm getting softer because things are easier and I'm not in the trenches. I'm not making more money. I mean, I'm not like,
You don't have a challenge.
I don't have a challenge.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm going to go do it because I said that.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I decided to do it, I had to do it no matter what. And then it reminded me, when I first started in insurance, I would do a similar thing, but it would be called a 90-day madman cycle. And in that 90 days, I would have to hit certain activity requirements every single day to complete my 90-day madman cycle. And it would be recruits and sales. And then at the end of the 90-day madman cycle, I would go on vacation for like 2 days. I can't go more than 2
legit.
days because my ADD go all crazy.
Feel you on that.
But like a 2-day vacation, unwind, and then go back, reset my goals, go do something again,
Mm-hmm.
or 2 to 3 days. But it was so similar,
Well, and I think too, people in this business, they have to have a why, and a lot of times people ask me like, dude, how do you stay so motivated? How did you, crush your goals and, do this and that? And I was like, dude, I remember, living with my dad and watching him go work graveyard every single night, leave to work at 11:45 to go work night shift. And it was like, that was enough motivation to get my ass out of bed and work 7 days a week, and now it's like he had a double hip replacement 6 months ago. And I was like, you're not going back to work. And now he doesn't have to work.
How's he doing with his hip
Oh,
replacement?
he's great. Yeah, he is living his best life. Yeah.
So he recovered fine?
Yeah, he recovered. He, works from home a little bit online with his sports stuff he does. Doesn't have to, I completely retired him and supplemented his income, and Yeah.
So last year I had to get a shoulder surgery,
Oh, I
and
remember
they
that.
had us lined up, like literally, like we were like gonna order tacos or something at a food truck. Like all these people lined up to go get surgery, and the lady in front of me was like getting a hip replacement, and then I'm like, "You're just getting a hip replacement right now and going home?" She's like,
Yeah,
It's
they
she,
send
crazy
you same
now.
day.
Yeah, it's
she's
crazy
like,
now.
Yeah.
"Yeah, I just got the other one done," and she's like, "I didn't even need my crutches. I just used my walker." And I'm just like, "Bro, they're literally replacing hips and sending people home like it's nothing,
Mhm.
back to back to back to back."
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I know. There's like
Yeah.
10 people lined up waiting to go in and coming out.
That's
That is
crazy.
nuts.
But the
Yeah.
recovery on that's amazing. Like,
Yeah, he did both at the same time, and he had his little walker, but he was up and at it and walking around. It was great. He felt better than he did before surgery. So, yeah, it was awesome.
wow.
Yeah,
So he's living his best life
he is. Yep.
and you're helping him.
Yep.
Wow.
But it's like I wouldn't have been able to do that financially if I didn't have a why, if I didn't have something that pushed me. You know what I mean? Like somebody in our family had to step up. And I was
Hmm.
like, it's me. I didn't have a choice. And I think so many agents, they're just so complacent. It really just it irritates me, to see people's potential and just to see how complacent they are, or they'll make, a good amount of money 1 month and then they just take 2 months off.
Well, we have an agent in here that he was doing terrible. He got out of debt because like within a few months, like he was doing so good. And then he bought a car and now he goes on vacation all the time. And I'm like, bro, your future is so bad because you're going to get chargebacks.
Yep.
You're going
Yep.
to, and then you're going to run out of money to not have any money to buy leads. And then you're going to probably end up back where you were.
Yep. Oh yeah, we see it all the time. It's like this cycle. And as much as you tell people, they're young. And the downside to this business is you do make a lot of money. You can. But it's like people that haven't made that kind of money, they have no guidance or they just see it and they're just ecstatic and want to spend it, And it goes back to if agents would treat this like a 9 to 5 job, it's like, okay, go on vacation. Well, guess what? In a corporate job, you get 2 weeks of vacation. So
Or work on vacation. I mean,
or work on
we
vacation.
work
Yeah.
from our computers. Like go on vacation and work. Like it's the best opportunity you're ever gonna get.
Yeah, it's just crazy to not see people take full advantage of it. But, you gotta learn one way or the other.
Okay, so you know how people say you're your own worst critic?
Mhm.
Was that you guys when you started calling when you were new? Were you guys like telling yourselves, I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I'm going to do good.
Oh, yeah. I think I don't know. I was one of those people, like, in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I made the right decision going back, coming here. Should I go back to my other company?" But then it was like, I'm a big on if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? And I had to just turn inward. And I know, like, anything in my life, if I want, I will get it from either working my butt off or saving or determination. Like one way or the other, if I set a goal, I have that respect for myself that's how I was raised. Like you don't say you're going to do something and not follow through. And so it was one of those things like you kind of just had to have this confidence. It's like, dude, I've done it before, I can do it again. Even rebuilding here, business is up and down. And has it been a steady incline? No, it hasn't. But it's like, okay, I was there at once. I know I can do it. Let's tweak some things and let's get back to where we went. So I think I was hard on myself, but in a critic of like, I need to work more and do better.
Yeah.
Not as like, I don't know if I can do this. I mean, I think we all have those where it's like, dude, can I really do this at the end of the day? We're human. We all have those thoughts. But I think surrounding yourself with people that believe in you. I mean, I'd call Nina and, even you, I'm like, dude, can I even do this? Building a business is literally the hardest thing I've ever done, and I think having good business partners, good people that's surrounding you that believe in you to help elevate you is crucial because I feel like everybody
No,
has
that's
that
just
thoughts.
crucial in life,
Very
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
not in business, just
yeah,
period.
for
If you
sure.
have good people to call and go, this is what's going on, and you can talk through stuff, but in this industry, a lot of people, they kind of go towards other people that are not where they want to be
Hmm.
because it's comfortable, and then they get advice there.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever do that?
I can't say that I've
No.
ever did that, and then as far as kind of your question, I can't say was ever doubting myself either. There was moments of doubts.
What about those 3 months you didn't make a sale?
Well, even honestly, those 3 months of not making a sale, I needed a solution. I wasn't gonna sit
Yeah.
there and complain and say I can't do this. I just needed to make it happen. So what did I do? I joined FFL. I started recording myself running through the script because like you said, we are our worst critic. And actually, when I hire agents, I tell them to do this. And it was actually at the lock-in we just had, Bo and Sweeney said the same exact thing. Like, record yourself, because if when you play that back, you're gonna be like, oh man, I sound bad, and then you're gonna work on it because you are your worst critic. If you're not gonna buy insurance from yourself, why would anyone else? So work to the point to where you sound decent enough that you would buy your own policy, and move on from that point. As far as building businesses, I mean, I've definitely looked at like Nina, Hayden, Grady, and be like, can I build it as big as them? Because that is a challenge for
Hmm.
for sure. So that's one of the things where it's seems a little bit more
Or
daunting
bigger?
or bigger. Exactly.
Yeah.
S- but yeah.
Yeah, that's huge, man. So I used to do this. This is how we started. We would do the phone script 50 times out loud in the mirror. So that was the very first train. Like, if you got hired back in the day, when I got hired, they handed me a phone script, read it 50 times outside or in front of the mirror
That's a good
out
idea.
loud. Okay. Then you have to call your family and you have to practice your phone script on your family.
I used to do the same thing.
Yeah. So like one of my uncles, right when I called, he's like, "You got your insurance license?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm not buying nothing."
Oh, that's
So
funny.
he shut me down. Even though I was literally just trying to practice, but I called the people that I knew would be hard to book, like someone with like a Shawn Mike personality.
Hmm.
That's like, dude, they'll just hang up on you.
Yeah.
Go, hey, let me call. Tell me what you think. Would you book an appointment with me? Would you hang up on me?
That's a good idea.
What would you do? And I literally did it. I practiced on my mom. Like I practiced. Not only that, I practiced my whole presentation on my mom. She wasn't going to buy anything. Like it wasn't like to try to get her to buy something. I was just legitimately going through and practicing my whole presentation out loud and just getting ready. And then I started thinking about it and having dreams. It's funny, my 3-year-old has a girlfriend at school
Oh.
Nice.
named Mila.
What a baller. Wait, that's my daughter's name.
Yeah. Okay, but the teacher keeps sending us pictures of them holding hands at lunch and all this stuff, right?
So
But
cute.
anyways, this morning he wakes up, he's like, "Did you have any dreams, Dad?" And I'm like, "Yeah, did you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I had a dream me and Mila were playing." And then I thought of that because I was dreaming about presentations. I was so focused on presentations that I was having dreams of like, if someone said something, what would I do? What would I change? And I believe you have to get that obsessed to get good. And you don't have to do it forever, but for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Did you guys get obsessed like that where people are like, "Bro, you got a problem"?
Oh,
100%.
100%.
100%. And honestly, just like you said, you kind of have to. Whether that's just working it on yourself, or there's so many trainings on like YouTube with FFL podcasts, agency calls. That's all that I did. I'd go to the gym. I would just watch those trainings, watch those videos, just trying to absorb as much as I can without having analysis by paralysis. So yeah, I mean, I definitely did, and I'm sure Erica did
Yep.
too.
100%.
I mean, right when I first joined, I mean, Erica, you were what, 2, 3 months in
Hmm.
ahead of me. We didn't stop working for those first 6 months.
Or then it was just
Yeah.
nonstop.
Did
Yeah.
people go, "Just take a break"?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because I remember telling Nina this. I go, I didn't want to build an agency when I came to FFL. I just wanted, my plan was I'd work 3 weeks and take a week off and vacation every month. Like, I love Hawaii. My best friend lives there, And so I'm like, that's all I want to do. I just want a vacation once a month. And And long story looking back, I didn't take a vacation that entire year. Like I just worked nonstop, 7 days a week, majority weeks. It just became obsessed, and I built a business. People were just drawn to what we were doing, and it just snowballed from there. So you definitely have to have an obsession. I think at anything, if you want to be good at in life, you have to have that kind of over obsession with it to master your skill if you want to be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you want to grow something meaningful.
Yeah. And set the example for your team. It's funny, we had the lock-in that we just came from, and we combined a few different agencies. So we kind of had a big one, and we had a schedule that we made that we sent out to everybody. Some agents were staying at the house, some were, lived there, and it was a sharp. You're there at 7:30 a.m., starting dials at 8 o'clock, working until 7. And people came late, they left early, and not one person on our team left early, came late, or stopped working. And I was talking to an agent, and they're like, because you set the example for us.
For real.
And we don't want the wrath of you.
Yeah.
Because that's not a standard we have in our agency. It's like if you say you're going to do something and show up, you're going to be on time and
But
you're
a
going to
lot of
work.
people came and left
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
early, showed up late,
Yep. Skip Saturday.
hungover,
Yep. Yep.
and then they're the ones that call you and go, "Hey, can I borrow?"
Can you pay my rent for this month?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Adam Mostel was closing deals at like 10 p.m. Still.
Where in Hawaii?
I don't even know. His client was texting him, and he was like, "Well, you just want to get it taken care of now." And like at 10 o'clock, he was writing up a policy.
Dude, I've been testing because I haven't been in the field for like 5 years or something. I've been calling leads and
No
booking
way.
appointments and texting. Dude, texting
Oh,
is the
yeah.
deal.
Yep.
Like today at 3:30, I text a client. They said, "Hey, can we talk when I get off work? I'm really interested. Thank you." And when you're texting and it's not like you don't seem like a robot.
Mm-hmm. Or
Like you,
salesy.
like someone
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, I can't talk. I'm in my truck." And I'm like, "Okay, well, drive safe.
Mm-hmm.
And when you park, here's my booking link so we can schedule." And it's like, dude, a robot ain't doing that.
Yeah.
No.
You know? Like it's a genuine text.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Texting has been huge.
Then
for
I've been
us.
throwing in that I'm the best in the industry and I can help them for sure find something affordable
I
Nice,
love that.
nice.
in the text with my booking link.
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah. But dude, that at the end of the day, it is about helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And we call this commission breath. Did you guys ever have commission breath?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's periods where, you know, you're just maybe kind of trying to push it through, trying to get the sale. Maybe you've had 2-3 weeks of it just kind of being slow, and just it hasn't been hitting like it normally does. And I think just getting back to the basics and being able to realize that is actually happening, and just getting back to the basics and just powering through it. I think the worst thing you can do is just kind of complain about it and then slow down. I think you just have to keep doing the same things you've always been doing and just push on through it, because I have an agent who actually came to us, and he's like, "Look, I had 25 appointments this week, 20 last week, and no sales." And he's a pretty consistent producer, and he asked for some advice. We're like, "Hey, just power through it." Seems like kind of a basic thing, but I mean, last month he protected 39 families.
Huge.
Yeah. So, right after that little like slow streak, he just kept doing what he was always doing. I can't say that he did anything different from those 2-3 weeks where it was really, really slow.
Yeah, sometimes it's just about taking a step back, making sure your script is good. You're doing, I think a lot of times we get a little complacent with just skipping certain parts of the script if we're like on a sales streak, and going back to those basics, but also knowing that, dude, it's just a numbers game at the end of the day. I tell agents, like, shoot, you may have a bad day, you may have a bad week, you may have a bad couple weeks that aren't what you expect, but the chances of having a bad month are extremely low, are a lot slimmer if you keep doing that activity every single day. Like, it's an activity game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so there's a lot of young people, and I have to tell you this. So one of the guys that recruited me in the industry, I was on the phone with, and dude has a when I was 18, I was recruited to this company,
Mhm.
and dude runs a massive company. Okay. And he's been doing it forever. And I talked to him the other day on the phone, and I said that I'm sick of hiring new people, that I like going and trying to recruiting new people. I like to go try to recruit big companies. Right.
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah, but dude, aren't you glad I wasn't sick of recruiting new people?
Cool.
And he's like, because I like to see young people change their lives.
Mhm.
And I'm like, damn, dude, I became I don't know. I just like, I forgot why I was doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me, like, you could change somebody's life, like somebody paved the way for me,
Mhm.
you know? So you guys are going to make a huge impact on the industry, on people's lives. That's what track you guys are on. Some people could be watching this and they can go, I don't know if I could do this. Maybe I want to do it. If they wanted to do it with you guys, they could call you, they could join your team,
Absolutely.
they could join your accountability. What's it called?
Level up.
Level up group.
They can join your level up group.
Yep.
They don't have to be licensed. You can help them get licensed.
Yep.
And if they wanted to do that, how could they reach you guys?
You can shoot me a text 503-277-8687 only for the business, Andrew.
Well, last time a bunch of people were trying to date you.
Oh
You put your
god.
number on here, and then your phone started getting blown up. People were trying to date her.
That's hilarious.
Yep. Go on a date after your license. That was our agreement. That didn't work so well. They're like, forget this.
That's funny. What about you?
All right. They can reach me on Instagram, text me, call me. Phone number 503-913-9948. Instagram's dima.yovko.
Cool. Now, something else that I've talked about a lot, but it's important to be in a good environment with people that are like-minded, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you get older, how old are you?
32.
32. I'm not going. How old are you actually?
31.
31. Okay, as you get older, it gets harder to
For
find.
a couple more days. We
Your
always joke
birthday's-
about
Oh,
that.
it's your birthday?
birthday
Happy birthday.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, shoot. We should have got you a birthday cake. So as you get older, it gets harder to find these environments because
Mhm.
you have, like, where do you go to find a environment where people are like-minded, positive, doing the level up stuff? Where do you go?
Not the club or the bar. That's for sure. I think the gym, I think
Church?
church. Yeah, getting around those people, especially church, the gym, workout classes, networking,
Business?
business. I think obviously this business, getting involved in this business, anything that's an entrepreneurship that people are driven. You're gonna find those like-minded people, and they're gonna be when you start becoming the person that you want to attract and cut out the people that aren't on that same level as you, that's when your growth is gonna just go. They say you are gonna be the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. And the biggest thing for me lately is I really took an inventory of those people. I took
Oof.
a look at my day to day, getting up at 7:30, rolling, out of bed, getting on Zoom at 8. I was sluggish, I wasn't eating the best. I had to literally I made a list of my goals and the person that I wanted to become. And then I put what I was doing on my day to day to become that person. And they didn't align. And now it's like, I don't really drink. I'm up at 5 a.m. I'm at the gym. I do my Bible time. And then I'm on Zoom at 8 a.m. sharp. And guess what, dude? I'm locked in for that day. I cut off a lot of people that weren't supporting me or weren't growing
How did
with
you
me.
decide who to cut off?
The people that, here's my thing is, if I go sit down to dinner with somebody and we have a conversation, if at the end of that dinner, if I don't feel inspired to be a better version of myself, or that conversation wasn't in alignment with where I was going, I didn't
You're
have
done.
time for them in my life.
But did you just like stop talking to them so much?
Yeah, I just pretty much, it's funny. I'm a very person that reaches out a lot to people, like, and I'm the one that keeps in contact And, as soon as those people that you just stop being the first one to reach out, very few have that, they reciprocate that,
Interesting.
And so I found that the people that were having a positive impact on my life, that was reciprocated.
And the ones
And
that
the one
weren't.
that weren't, I just stopped and we just, you get that text, hey, miss you. How's it going? And let's get dinner soon. And then obviously you never follow up. It's just.
So did you have any negative people that were they were just negative and you didn't realize it and it was slowly pulling you down?
Oh, yeah. There was a few. It was always like, you had those friends like, oh, let's just go out. Let's go grab a drink. Let's do this. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I got so much crap from people when I like stopped doing that lifestyle. They're like, you're no fun anymore, or why? Come on, let's just, one won't hurt, or let's just go for a little bit. And it's like, no, like that does not serve the person that I want to become right now, you know? And it was tough. It was lonely, but honestly, like that time being by myself gave me so much self reflection. And dude, I've grown so much in the last even few months just from really making those hardcore changes.
I think just, we're just so locked into our business too that we just don't even have time to entertain those types of
Yeah.
things. Even like we're actually selling our house and moving to Phoenix just to be around people in the business because we want to, like,
Phoenix is the bomb though anyways.
yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just wanted to be surrounded, wanted my family to be surrounded by, people that are trying to make something of their lives because, especially with this industry, you have so much potential and you can do so many cool things that I didn't want to take it for granted. So, my wife and I decided we're going to sell the house and move on down and be closer to people that are going to be, like-minded.
That's huge.
Yeah.
What advice and real quick, have you had to do the same thing like she's talking about?
Definitely. Having 2 kids now, I think in general, when you start having kids, your life kind of slows down. You're focusing on the family side of things. And then on top of that, running a business, being just locked into the agency, selling myself. I've definitely, I wouldn't say lost relationships, but I've definitely, cut back on most of them, you
Yeah,
know.
my new rule is if I want my kids to if I wouldn't want my kids to be around them or like my kids couldn't learn something from them or they couldn't be a positive influence, then I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
100%.
yeah, I was talking to an old friend. He was so crazy, and I'm like, dude, I don't want my kids around you.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
funny.
especially when you have kids, you see like they soak up everything,
Everything, dude.
and you have to it's not just you, it's, now your children.
Yeah, little kids are,
I don't have any yet, so I can't relate, but I
but you
just
want
assume.
some
Yeah, one day.
one day. Like,
One day.
One
hey,
day.
time's flying by. One day
I
is
know.
here.
I know. Oof. I'm loving my just free spirit life.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, so let's get into some sales training. Like, if you could give 3 tips to a brand new person on sales, what would it be?
Ooh, that's good. Listen to your mentor. Like number one, find, it goes back to not listening to every single training and trying to implement multiple different systems. Find a good mentor, listen to what they have to say. If they have what you want, listen to what they're doing, right? Put in the work, make a schedule for yourself, make a set schedule and implement that and stick to that every single day. So you're putting in the activity, you're putting in the dials, right? And invest in your business. McDonald's wouldn't be in business if they didn't buy hamburgers. Same thing with this. If you don't buy leads, you're not going to be successful. So
Huge.
and do
Wait,
that thing every single week.
okay, so leads. There's a lot of different there people are on the search for the perfect lead all the time.
Yep, they are.
Have you found it?
I'm still on the search for it.
We're always searching. We're always searching.
But you have not found it.
No.
No, dude, just freaking work. Like, I think it's so funny that, I've ran dollar leads, I've ran, $30 leads. It's a lead. You know what I mean? Call it. Like, I think it's funny how people get so attached to like, oh, this is a wrong phone number. Or this person isn't, it's
The lead was $1.
the lead.
Yeah,
It's like, bro, just dial.
Or I always knocked on the door of the wrong phone number.
Oh, that's a good idea.
because no one could get a hold of him.
Yeah.
So no one helped him.
Yeah.
True.
We have it too good. We do
Yeah.
everything over the phone. We've even joked around like we should go. Well, you've never been in the field either.
I've never gone in
Dude,
home.
I was in smelly houses, sitting outside, cockroaches, like, ugh. And I'm like, we should make agents like as like an initiation, go into the field for a week.
Yeah, dude. And I'm allergic. I'm allergic to cats, but I had this one client that had like 28
Oh,
cats.
Jeez.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
And I was like taking Benadryl and everything because the cats were all over me. They peed all over the couch.
Disgusting.
That's terrible. I don't know how people live like that.
I don't either.
But dude, I don't even if someone's virtual, I just made my first virtual sale.
Nice. Good job.
And I'm like, what the heck? Like this is the life right here.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
I'm here at my office. I made a sale over the phone, talked to a dude that was super nice. He got declined. I had to rewrite him and go. It took me like 3 hours because I didn't have my logins and I wasn't prepared because I was just doing it again for the first time. I wrote the wrong product. He got declined.
It's hilarious.
But I'm like, dude, before I would get on an airplane because there'd be no local leads, I would go to Washington, I'd go to Reno, I'd go to LA, I'd go everywhere, all Vegas, everywhere, every other week because I couldn't get enough leads. And I had to calculate all those expenses in there: airplane, rental car, food, hotel. And then now I'm like, dude, I'm just sitting here on my cell phone with my iPad writing an app and the person's getting approved with a text signature.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
How easy
It's
can it
so
get?
easy. Yeah.
the text signature
It's the best.
Yeah, that's
Hey, I'm going to
legit.
send you a quick text.
or
Just read me
Aetna's
back this.
signature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
I know. Yeah. It's great. We have it easy. We have it good.
Yeah. 100%.
Bro, what's your favorite color?
Red.
Okay, I put it in, your application's done.
Yep.
Like, that's real?
I know.
It's the most simple process. Simplified issue, easy to sign. There's times where we can be in and out of an appointment in 30 minutes. Close from start to finish. It's the easiest thing ever.
Yeah, that's
Just takes
huge.
work.
What's a tip you'd give new agent
New agent,
or any agent?
dude, especially new agents, like do the initial work, like record yourself, like call those family members and just run through that script. Be like, hey, how do I sound? Like those basic things, are like the very starting point. And I always tell people, like after you're done with that, like start looking around on like the FFL YouTubes, like watch some of these trainings. Like don't go overboard, but just like understand that everyone's pretty much kind of doing the same exact thing, just a little bit differently. Everyone's got their own flavor on it. And then obviously buying leads, and obviously there's a little bit of a levels process to leads, depending on like if you're buying age leads or fresh leads, but if you want to, protect 30, 40, 50 families a month, understand that you're going to have to increase that lead spend. So don't go blow through all that money. Like that's the most important thing.
Dude, so we had an agent that was buying internet leads and they were spending, I think, like $300 a week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they switched to a different type of lead, but they started spending $2,500 a week.
Nice.
And they started getting really good success off of,
Yeah.
and the leads were so good. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lead vendor stopped making them. And they're like, well, I can't go back to the other ones. And I said, try to do the same amount, the same spend on these ones. And guess what happened? There's great leads in there.
Yeah.
It's a volume game. And I mean, Erica and I, we're always like looking at new vendors. Like we have our go-tos, but we're always looking around at different vendors and trying them out. And, so our agents don't feel like they have to go try it out and spend their money. We'll actually go do it first. And if we have great success on it, we'll tell everyone else about it too.
But do you got the thing is you can't get a lot of times vendors can be good and then the quality can be bad
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
shortly
hit or
Oh
after.
yeah.
miss.
So
Yeah.
you can't fall in love
Right.
with
That's
any
why we
lead vendor.
diversify them
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time. That's why we're always trying new things out,
I,
especially as agency owners,
I think the answer is to diversify all the time.
all
Oh
the
yeah,
Do you
time.
guys agree with that?
100%.
100%.
Like just blend a little bit of
Yeah.
this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this and a little bit of that instead of trying to go, this is the answer.
Like if you've only been running mortgage mailers always, what happens when interest rates get hiked up unless people are buying homes? It's like if you've only been doing that, you're kind of lost on what to do next. So like we're always trying out different things, making sure that we're not just like locked into one thing. Because at one point we were locked into one thing, and that same exact thing happened, and it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Because we felt responsible, to have something for our agents that was gonna, work so that, they weren't just spending money on random leads and trying things out that weren't gonna be successful.
Dude, we had one guy, I think we gave him 150,000 and a bunch of agents were ordering and he just disappeared.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, there's nuts.
That's why it is, if you're a brand new agent, it is important to ask
Oh yeah.
Yes.
your
Yes.
your manager, like, have you heard of this person?
Yeah.
Just to make sure their reputation's good.
That's
sure.
the biggest piece of advice for new agents. Dude, ask your manager. I don't know how many times agents will be like, "Oh yeah, I bought this
it's
or
like-
I did this." I'm like, "Dude, why didn't you ask me?" You know what I mean? Why didn't you come to me and communicate? It's, it's just
Well,
kind of
because the
mind-blowing.
person selling them the lead sold them,
Oh
Yeah.
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 you know?
Yeah. Very true.
But yeah, that's huge. All right, recruiting. One tip on recruiting.
For me, it'd be build up your Instagram and don't be afraid to reach out to people. I think it's a lot like selling. You have to find the need in somebody's life and what's missing in their career and what they want, and then relate to them. Use your story. Don't try to sound like you're trying to recruit them. Actually take the time to kind of get to know them, to care a little bit, because they're human. People can tell when they're feeling like they're being recruited versus actually somebody cares and is trying to help them. And be consistent, just like you do dial.
Love it. What about you?
I think, we can always talk about it's like sending messages out, trying a recruitment vendor. I think just even just building yourself up as a leader and just understanding that if you're doing it properly, that's just gonna rub off and you're just gonna attract people. And so, just like with our lock-in, none of our team was, doing the wrong things. They were showing up early, staying late, working even after hours. So, as you recruit people, people are going to sense that, and you're talking to them about joining your agency. If you yourself are a true leader, that's just going to rub off, and they're going to understand, and they're going to see it without even having to say it.
You
Yeah.
can feel it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you can feel that they're a true leader, that this agency is real. So, if you can send messages all day, but if you're not legit, they're gonna know.
Well, people want to be around that.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
want to be around, we're going to go accomplish something.
Yeah.
They want to.
absolutely.
That's how Sean recruited. That's why I was interested in working with FFL. Dude, FFL was the biggest mess on the planet when it opened. Like, you have no idea. There's nothing worse. But Sean was like, dude, we're going to fight and make a name for ourselves no matter what comes our way. And I loved that.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. I was like, I want to be a part of that
People want to be a part of something bigger than themselves,
for sure.
and you got to set that standard, and you got to keep reminding your people of the end goal, the long-term vision.
Yeah. One thing I would say, I was trying to think how many people I think we've recruited, like our
Ooh.
agency, right?
Yeah.
But at one time, we were recruiting 500 licensed people a week.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So let's say thousands and thousands, 25, 30,000 probably. And I'm trying to think, what would I change if I could, if I had a chance to do it over again?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I would change would be finding people that are easy to work with and spending more time and resources with those people.
Yeah.
And then kind of getting rid of the people that are like problems, like everything's a problem.
Mhm.
Nothing ever works out. Or like I've had people call and yell at me, they're brand new because they c- can't pay their bills. And I'm like, bro, y- like you got yourself in this mess from years and years and years of stuff you've
Yeah.
been doing. Don't dump it all over me. But I used to let them dump it all over me and go, man, I want to help them, which I do want to help them. But what I'm trying to say is not working with difficult people.
100%. That's something that honestly, we talk about that all the time now. So when we hire now, we're a little bit more exclusive and a little bit more thoughtful about who
Mhm.
we're actually bringing in because we've spent a lot of time with people that we shouldn't have spent time with.
100%.
Yeah, and it's like the people that talk the best, look the part.
Are normally the ones that don't do anything.
Dude, I had this guy quoting Zig Ziglar, like sounded good, looked good, and was scared to death to make a phone call and never did anything. And then you got people like the dude driving Uber that's like, you're like, there's no way this guy's gonna do it.
Yeah.
And he crushes it.
Because he's been grinding and hustling. So like honestly, like that's who we look for. We look people that want to hustle, want and want to grind. It doesn't matter if you're coming from an industry, maybe you're selling solar or things where they've been used to making sales, maybe like used car sales. What we want is people that actually grind it out and are willing to put that work in, regardless of what the task is.
Yeah. What about part-time?
No.
You know,
I think we're missing a huge opportunity on part-time.
yeah, I've started hiring, but here's the thing. I agree, but I disagree to a point. It depends on the person. Like my mom does this part-time and she wants a part-time income. You know what I
Mama
mean?
D.
Yeah,
Mama
Mama D's
D.
still at it. Loves her life. She sells, she hops on Zoom, all her friends.
Bro, Mama D's a legend.
I know. We
Yeah.
need to get her in here. But I think, yeah, I've hired a few good. Rebecca Hamilton, one of our agents. She started this off part time, had a full time job, and she grinded to get to it. So
And she's coming in a few days.
she is. Yep,
So if you're watching this in a few days,
she's a
she'll
beast.
be in here sharing what she's doing.
Yeah. So for her, I think, for the people that have that work ethic, part time is great for them because they want something, they want the opportunity.
I think it just depends on part-time for how long.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do this your entire career and do it part-time,
Yeah, but
okay,
dude,
that's not gonna.
I kind of am looking at this different.
Yeah.
So like, I know people that are in their 50s and they just need $1,000, $1,500 extra a month could change their life.
Oh, then
And
honestly, in that aspect, yeah,
and
I'd
and
hire
and
them.
they might even have like a disability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they might have whatever. Something where they can't go out and be active.
Yeah.
It could be a back issue, it could
Sure.
be a hip issue, but dude, they can get on the phone and they can crush.
Yeah.
Like let me read this message to you guys. I already read this before, but Darren White, check this out. Hold on. Okay, this dude just won the cruise, okay? But listen to this. Hey, Andrew. I wanted to follow up on a record month. I had surgery on my left eye on August 24th. I was out of commission for 2 days, but I got on the phones and set appointments. And during that time, I wrote. Hold on. Oh, sorry. That's a newer text. I got to read this one. Okay, check this out. So Darren White, he put, Andrew, this is the he called himself the rock star, which I love. Okay.
Love that.
Short story. I hope you can appreciate. My left eye has been bad for a while. I go in on August 24th for eye surgery. They are cutting it open and cleaning out the blood. It's pretty gross. My right eye hemorrhages at the end of July. I lost vision in both eyes to some degree. Instead of panicking, I ordered a large keyboard and a magnifying glass. I got on the phones and had my best week ever. I wrote over 25 policies. the first week of August. Long story short, if a blind man can write 25K in a week, what is everybody else's excuse?
I'd like to know too.
Yeah.
Okay, but check it out. There's millions of people in the world
Yeah.
that unfortunately have some reason why they can't go have a job where they're active,
Yeah.
but they could crush this
100%.
and think about how much it could help them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think more of like where we've struggled with hiring part-time is the younger people that
Yeah.
have a full-time job already and want to transition into full-time here, and they don't put in the extra work to do that. You know what I mean? But I mean, situations like that, like my mom that, she's retired, she just wants, something to supplement her retirement. I think it's great for people like that.
So
100%.
she could get on her headset or her ear pods
Mhm.
and call leads and close over the phone a few hours a day or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
And that's what she does. She hops on, she works a few hours a day, writes, a couple policies a week, and that's what she needs, and she's happy. So I definitely think that, for people like that, this is awesome. We don't just hire full time, in that situation. But like I said, a lot of, people like him, like shoot, that man's determined.
Dude, I like underdogs though.
Yeah.
That's
So do
why
I.
I lose in sports bets all the time because
You're always hoping for the underdog to
always
come
take
out on
the
top.
underdog no matter what,
Yeah.
dude.
That's funny.
And the Raiders are always the underdog, and they are the hardest team to root for
Yeah.
because they never cover, and I always lose my money.
That's funny.
But dude, the underdog stories are the
Yeah,
best
I love
stories
those.
ever.
They're always the best ones for sure.
And there's a lot of underdogs, and they
Yeah.
could come, have an opportunity to
Yeah. And
do something.
people's work ethic, dude, it shows right away. So it's like we'll give them the opportunity to come in here and replace your full-time income. And like Rebecca, she freaking grinded and got it. And then there's those people that just don't. So you can tell right away like who's actually gonna push through. And I think seeing people succeed and actually do that and walking away from a corporate job where they're making, six figures or whatever it may be because they worked double at one point in their life, like that's legit.
Yeah, that's
For
huge.
sure.
All right, so to wrap this thing up, we have a sales training that's put on. The Vegas one is at the Red Rock Hotel and Casino. It's on October 20. Drew, is it October 23rd? October 23rd. It's free.
Nice.
Anybody can go.
Love that.
Vegas is a blast. If someone's new, they're in licensing, they can come. They can learn from top producers. They can meet people like you guys. What would you say to someone who's in the industry and they're not planning on going because they're busy?
Get there.
Get there. Because I mean there's one in Vegas, I know, one in Phoenix. So if you're not where you want to be at as far as your career, things like that, go. You're going to learn firsthand. I know I've been to several of them, up in the Portland area, up in Vancouver, and, talking to people like Brad Allen there. So, it's an opportunity for you to kind of get a reset and actually talk to people face to face. I think that's a big part of it.
All right, cool. So to wrap this up, everybody that comes in here, we got this cool new studio that Factory Fresh made. What do you guys think
It's
about it?
This is nice.
legit.
This is nice.
Dude,
Drew,
it's
can
legit.
you show the wall view where people sign? So anyone that comes in, we have them sign. And we want to, Erica, would you like to share with everybody what you wrote on the wall?
So don't be a little bitch.
That's what Erica wrote. So anyways, thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you got it. See you guys.